In this video, we're going to give you an overview of how to use the Placement and Formatting tab on the label style. The first thing to consider is that the Placement and Formatting tab is a little bit different depending upon the type of layer you're wanting to label. So for example, if you have an area feature layer, the settings will be slightly different than if you have a point feature layer. So to get started, let's take a look at what the features or the placement and formatting properties look like for an area feature layer. The first thing you have is a checkbox that allows you to control whether you want labels to overlap other labels. So by default, we turn that on so you get more labeling to start with. If you find your maps looking too busy, you have too many labels, this is a good checkbox to potentially turn off. The next setting is grid size. So our labeler looks and cuts the map up into different grids to figure out where to put the labels and how many labels to use. So the smaller the grid size means a higher density of labels, and the higher the grid size means less labels overall in your map. The next section is formatting. So if you have a date field that you're labeling on or a numeric field that you're labeling on, you can format these accordingly. So if you check on the date format, there's a variety of different ways you can display your date on the label. And the same goes for a numeric column that you may be labeling. If you wanted to put it, with a $ or decimal or percentage, etc., you can just choose that, and your label will be automatically formatted in that way. So that's for placement and formatting for area features. Let's take a look at line features next. It's pretty much the same as area features, although we have a couple more properties to set. The first one is this checkbox here to force labels to display horizontally regardless of line angle. So by default, our labeler will draw the label along the line. So that's good typically for rivers or say street names. But in some cases you may just want to always have it show horizontally and not up and down vertically. So you can control that by that setting there. The next setting we have is Spline Type. And by default, our labeler will try and just do some standard splining, where it will put the label along, say if you have a slight curve, put it along that way. Also for certain languages such as Asian languages, Chinese or Japanese, you may want to use force splining, and it's a much more stricter type of splining mechanism. Last, let's take a look at what the placement and formatting looks like for point feature layers. Again, we have some of the standard settings we saw earlier, but we also have another checkbox here to choose best placement for each point's label. So because points are, don't take up much area on the map, the labeler can analyze whether to put the label on top, the left, the right, accordingly. So if you check that box, the labeler will do its best to find a place to fit the label in. If you want to have complete control over where your label is, you can choose this drop-down box, and all of your points will be labeled in the same manner. So if you wanted to put it to center right, for example, you could do that as well. And then the rest of the properties are the same as we've already discussed. So as you can see, the Placement and Formatting tab gives you lots of different options based upon the type of feature layer you're dealing with, and gives you a lot of control over how you want to label your map. Thank you.